Hey, welcome to our very special interview. I've been excited about this because everything that I've heard about this lady who's sitting right here has been complimentary and how powerful of a person she is and all. Her name is Kelly Weeks. Hey, Kelly.
Hey there.
Now, you have to get kind of into the
The microphone, is that better? Okay.
Now, Kelly is the widow of. I always have to do this because I have to make sure I'm not saying Danny Weeks.
No worries.
Yeah, it's Tommy Weeks,
Yes.
Marshall Tommy Weeks.
Yes.
And the reason I have to watch out is because Danny Weeks is a distant relative of mine.
Oh, really?
In Louisiana,
Oh.
who was during the 80s on the FBI's most wanted list.
Yeah, Tommy wasn't on
So,
the most wanted list,
no.
but you never know. You might be distant relatives we don't know about.
So yeah, Tommy is the U.S. Marshal that was killed by a piece of crap criminal.
Yep.
And along with three other members of law enforcement. Now, that's been 6 months ago?
6 months. So it's April 29th, 2024. 4 officers were killed and 4 more were injured on that day by this person. I got to tell everyone I refuse to remember his name. And it was a tragic day for Charlotte, for sure.
Yeah. And, having that in your community really hits home. But when it makes national news and we hear about these stories all the time, I think far too often, because we've always been so pro law enforcement, on our show, far too often it just becomes that's just part of it. That's what happens. And we don't stop to think about the families of these brave heroes.
Yep.
And I've seen you on TV. I've seen, where you're being interviewed. I've also seen footage of you from Tommy's funeral.
Yeah.
And everything everybody says about you being impressive is that and more. Because you've taken a different approach to the whole situation.
Tried to. I think, one of the things, I tell people of all the widows that could be in this situation, God picked an Iredell County girl from North Carolina. So resilience is part of our blood. Proud to be from North Carolina. And I think, we made a decision early on, and I said it this week in another discussion, was if I don't fight, if I don't keep my spirit up, then this criminal got 2 victims in our family. One being Tommy dying, and 2, my spirit. And I will not let him take away the positives in our life. So that's where I try to stay focused. And then also on the law enforcement side.
Yeah. And it's hard enough for police officers now to go out and do the job of protecting us. I mean, and you think about what kind of a special person it takes. I say this about military members too, to go in and say, I want to do this job that I know I could lose my life any day, at any time.
Yep.
But I want to do this to protect my community and stand up for the good guys. I mean, that takes a very, very special person.
Even if the community doesn't appreciate you and you still show up. And I say, when it comes to law enforcement, especially law enforcement and military, but especially law enforcement, that particular day, I mentioned it quite a bit about Tommy was the first one shot. So what you have to think about, there were probably, I don't even know how many officers that showed up on that scene, hundreds. Every single one of them made the decision to go to that scene knowing there was an active shooter, knowing there were already officers down. Okay, so most people run from danger. They would go, there's a guy shooting. Like if you and I were on the street and we saw somebody shooting, I'm not wired to run towards it.
Yeah.
Tommy was. And so all of those officers showed up to the scene knowing that they were at risk. And I say, if you're not willing to do that, and it's my standard line, I said it at Tommy's funeral and I'll keep saying it. If you're not willing to make that sacrifice, you better appreciate the people who do.
Exactly.
We have to. They protect us.
So well said. And it's just, especially now with basically I'll say it. I don't know if you want to get into this sort of thing, but there is a war on police officers.
There is.
That is being waged politically.
Yep.
To tear down law enforcement, you always hear defund the police and all that. Well, that's more than just taking funds away from police departments. It's something that is created as a movement.
Well, it's taking money from my husband's safety. So if he doesn't have the best shield, if he doesn't have the best equipment that's up to date, then when he does get shot, that bullet could go through his vest, or that something could happen to the next officers. They need that funding to protect us. So when you defund the police, you're defunding your safety. So you're making a conscious choice to say, okay, shoot me, I don't care.
Yeah.
And if you're not, again, that's your choice, but I personally would rather fund them to protect me. And there's bad apples everywhere, so I'm not naive, but there's bad apples on both sides. And they'll deal with their own bad apples. So I think we have to be more big picture of protecting our children and our safety and our society to be able to live. And, you know, that particular day, that person did not care about the police. And one of the things that we fought with the widows is sovereign citizens. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
Yeah.
But, you know, these are individuals who do not believe in the government, laws, rules, whatever it may be. And so these individuals are targeting police. They are targeting. And my question to the world and to the community, and I said it at Tommy's Memorial, if we don't come together, at some point, they'll be targeting you. You're not police today, but once they make it through the police, they're going to come after you. Yeah. They're taking out the strongest so they can get to the weakest. So you make your choice of what side you want to be on at some point.
Yeah, and it just doesn't make sense to normal people.
No.
Why you would want to not have the police, you know, fully funded and have enough police. No, I mean, they're also tearing down the numbers of police officers who are out there, and it doesn't make sense to normal thinking people why you would want to do that.
Well, why would you? And I always say if you don't know any law enforcement people, you should talk to them, or any frontline workers. Ask them what they get paid. Ask them why they do the job. I promise you, it is not for the paycheck, and it's not for the glory. Right now, it's hard to get people to want to do these jobs because it's not appreciated. It doesn't have the appreciation that it used to have, and it doesn't come with the paycheck that they could go make more money, probably doing something a lot less dangerous, and provide for their families. So you have to really ask yourself, what is their calling? And their calling is for others.
Yeah,
I mean, we should appreciate that.
Especially now when they know that every day they do something that they were trained to do, and it's perfectly within their job description to protect the community or themselves, and they look at the possibility of going to prison for life.
Yep.
When you get some rogue district attorney somewhere or a U.S. attorney, depending on the situation. I mean, I don't mean to get all political or anything, but I'm just
it's important.
This really is something that I think is a major problem in our culture right now.
Well, and I mean, obviously, I'm passionate about it because, you know, I lost Tommy, but I still have a family of individuals still alive that were her brothers and sisters, and they're my family. They protect me. They look out for me. I don't go very far without one of them wanting, if I'm traveling, what state are you in? You need to check in with the Marshal Service. They're out there still fighting, and they're mourning the loss of someone. They're mourning a loss of someone in their family. So at his office, they still have a plaque up on his desk. They still have his gear out. So it's like, it's kind of like, you know, same with the military. When you lose a brother or sister, and then the very next day, you have to go back to the fight.
Yeah.
So I challenge people to say, are you willing to do a job that, one, you're shot at, two, you or one of your very close friends could lose their life, and then the very next day you have to strap on your vest and your badge again and do it all again.
Right.
There's a lot of mental toughness that's required, not just physical. You see their physical toughness, that's easy. It's the mental toughness that's required for the job that a lot of people don't have, and their mental health. So it's bad enough that, and then they have to go home, and then their fathers, their brothers, their they're taking care of parents. They have all kinds of things they have to do in their personal life, but they carry all of these things that they see, and they see worse. They see bad situations. They see the worst of the worst, and they still have to go to the kids' play and smile and be like, "Hey, you did a great job at your play or recital." So I just don't think we have enough appreciation for the mental toughness that's required and the mental struggles that they go through. And again, they don't get paid enough to be put through it.
Well, and you know, that's almost exactly the way my job is, you know, being.
I was thinking that. I was going to ask you if you needed any, security help or anything.
I do need the mental help. That's about it. That's about the only thing in common. All right, so this really cool backdrop we've got here is the special upstairs room of
Yes.
BlackFinn Ameripub and Ballantine. We talk about them all the time, how great their food and service and all that is. But the reason we're here talking to Kelly up here is because of an event that's coming up. It's a Tunnel to Towers event to raise money for Tunnel to Towers, which is a great organization. It's called Celebration of Heroes. That's the exact title of the event, which we'll get more into later. But you told me the other day that when things like this come up, especially for organizations like this, that you're going to do whatever you can to help.
Absolutely. Tunnels for Towers is such, I knew about them, but not to the extent that I know about them now. And what if you don't know about them, take the time to research them. And it is an amazing organization. And it's more than just a charity to me. The kindness that they have shown me personally and my family has been monumental. Mm-hmm. So Tommy was killed. And within that very first week, it was within days, Frank, who is the person who started Tunnels for Towers, and his brother was killed in 9/11, was trying to save people, and the tunnel collapsed on him. That's where the name came from. Frank called me from New York and said, hey, Mrs. Weeks, I just want to let you know my condolences. I know what grief is like. I have empathy for your situation. Mm-hmm. My heart goes out to you. Now, this is a stranger to me. And I'm on the phone with a guy who's giving me so much compassion. And then he said, I just want you to know that Tunnels for Towers is going to be taking care of the mortgages for all 4 of the families. And what I would tell you is it's not so much about the money side of it. It's at that point in your life, you're in your first week, you've lost your husband, you're thinking, and you have children, you have teenagers, you're thinking through, okay, what am I going to do about this? What am I going to do about that? Life insurance, health insurance, lots of things are going through your head. And his point was, you have enough stress and enough pain right now. The only thing we can do is this to help you. And so his compassion on that phone call, I still remember it. I could tell you, I was standing in my downstairs. I can tell you exactly where I was standing because it really hit me hard of just how kind he was and how he'd been through something, 9/11, he lost his brother. He'd been through a traumatic event far greater than what we were enduring, but yet he felt like I was enduring something more. So it's a very unique organization. They give everything back. If you look at the stats of how many families they help, veterans, they build homes for people. It's just an amazing organization. So anything that involves the U.S. Marshal Service, Survivors Benefit Fund, or the U.S. Marshal Service, or Tunnels for Towers, you'll find my face.
Yeah, and it's great that God has given you the strength to be able to do and recognize that how much help you can be to these sorts of things.
Hey, when you're a redneck, I've been training for this my whole life.
Yeah, you mean being on TV?
Yeah, but no, just talking. I mean, I got this covered.
I thought you meant being on the news.
Heck, that's true.
You're not describing what the tornadoes sounded
or
like.
saying what I meant to say was what happened was.
Yeah, coming out of the club.
Yep.
No, we live close to each other in the same area, and also Darren, the owner of BlackFinn, lives up there too. So we drove an hour and a half to come here to do the interview today, just for this cool backdrop.
It's amazing.
Yeah, Derek said you got to come do that.
It's a beautiful restaurant, and what I can say about BlackFinn is, I got a phone call from them saying, "Hey, we'd like to do this. Would you participate?" And it's one of those things where it's like, absolutely, count me in. There's lots of people in these moments who are like, I want to do something. What can I do? And there's lots of people who want to do something, and then there's people who actually step up and do something.
Yeah.
And so supporting Tunnels for Towers, and it just shows you the strength of our community and how people are like, I'm not going to sit by and let things happen. I'm going to do something to make a difference. And, I'm a big advocate of we need to support the businesses that do that because they don't have to. There's a lot of businesses who aren't. So if we can do anything we can to support them, it just makes it better for our community. Yeah,
because this place is great. And they could survive on just the service and the food and everything that they get, but to really, like you said, step out and help people just comes from their hearts. And
I was adamant that I'm not doing this I don't need the publicity. I don't want the publicity. And people tell me that all the time. Anyone who's helped me, unfortunately, I won't do that. I think that, community needs to know the people who are there. And it's not just about law enforcement. It's just about veterans. Tunnels for Towers is such a big organization. They helped me, but they help thousands of people all the time.
Sure. And the one thing, though, I can tell you that I'm a little disappointed about in this whole thing is that I found out that real U.S. Marshals don't like one of my all-time favorite shows called Justified.
It's not real. It's fiction.
It is real to me.
Raylan Givens is not real.
Yes, he is. As a matter of fact, Raylan Givens is so real. My youngest nephew who lives in Arkansas, my brother's kids, his wife just had a baby. And if it were going to be a boy, his name was going to be Raylan.
If they could do that, they probably would have more fun at their job. But for some reason, it's frowned upon, some of the activities.
Oh, well.
The rules.
I refuse to believe that's not a documentary.
We'll send you on a ride. I'll see if I can get you a ride along with the marshals for a day. You can sit in court all day.
Really?
And you can sit in court.
Just sit in court.
Yeah. They'll show you what real life is like.
Well, I mean, I'd like the court thing, too. I'm all into everybody else's business.
Oh, there's all kinds.
All right, so we're going to take a break, and then we'll have Derek and Katie to tell us about all of the events that will be happening around the Celebration of Heroes. And you're going to be there.
Yes.
I
will be there.
I'm guessing taking over everything.
Pretty much.
Like you've done the whole media in Charlotte.
Yeah, that's my job. That's the only way I can get people to listen. If you're a redneck, you got to be stubborn. That's how it goes.
You don't seem like a redneck, though.
Oh, I hide it well.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, trust me.
Do you?
It's deep.
Wearing a sweatshrt and a skirt together?
Yeah. I just tell you, I mean, I was going to wear my boots, but I thought that might have been too far.
No way. No, but by the way, these are shirts that
Jet Fitness.
Yeah, my little friend Jenny had made up and sold them
The
for
best part is the back. I have to.
Yeah, for the charity. Well, charity which went right to you and the
to our family. Went to college funds, and Tommy's daughter. I tell people Tommy's daughter's 16, and her dad was her best friend. So if you have children, you can think about it from a dad's perspective. What are all the things she's got come up in life? College, first home, wedding. So he would be distraught to think that all of those things she would miss out on because he was shot. So the guy took her father away, and now our job is to make sure she's provided and taken care of.
Yeah. And it was my idea to put that vest on the front of it,
which is
right there.
The best part.
And I know little friend Jenny would never tell you that.
I asked her about it.
Oh, you did? Did she give me credit? Or no?
I don't think she did. Not so much. Sure. Yeah, she gave you credit, I think.
Okay. All right. So we got more coming up. Hang on. All right. Welcome back. Look at this. We've never had 4 people in one shot before. Isn't that great? Look at the technology. It's usually just Jody and me on this camera. And the reason it has to be a wide angle, obviously, is because of Jody.
That's what we were thinking.
Sorry, Jody.
Yeah. Okay, so this is Derek and Katie, and they are from BlackFinn Ameripub in the Ballantine of Charlotte, North Carolina. Ballantine is a famous area of Charlotte. If you're watching this in Alaska or something, and they're partners with us on our networks and podcasts and everything. And the food is great, the service is great, and I say that all the time. And they are hosting this big event called Celebration of Heroes. And it is for Tunnel to Towers, like we were talking about just a few minutes ago. So what all is going to be happening? Give the details of the event, because as many times as I've gone over them and I've seen the poster and everything, I always forget little things.
I think I forget too, but I'll do my best. So November 23rd, we are located in Ballantine Village, which is a great shopping center full of restaurants and services. So we're going to be taking over the plaza area outdoors. We're going to have a massive tent, huge stage. We're going to start the day with a cornhole tournament, so charity cornhole tournament, teams of 2. It's $40 per entry. That's going to start at 1 o'clock.
TJ, you're my teammate. You going to do cornhole with me? Are you any good?
Absolutely. I'm the best.
I don't believe you. Okay, but I'll still take you as a teammate.
Yeah, so cornhole tournament, TJ and Kelly are going to be the first team in, and then we're going to have a lot of great raffle prizes for that. All of the proceeds are going to go straight to Tunnels to Towers. The winners will get commemorative cornhole boards custom made. They're working on those right now. And then 5:30, the doors will open. We're going to start with national recording artist Ryan Trotty. So if you haven't listened to his music, he's great. But he's got some original music covers. He sang the national anthem at a Trump rally, I think last year. But he's a rock star. And then we're going to have Kids in America, so nostalgic 80s band. I grew up in the 80s, but I did a very short amount of time, some questionable attire there, but music, yeah, music's great. So they're going to be a lot of fun. And then we're going to throw an after party here back in BlackFinn with DJ Kurt, and he's local, throws a great party. There are multiple ways that you can party with us. So you can do GA tickets that get you into the concert, and then we have a general admission plus drink package where you'll have 3 drink tickets where you can enjoy 3 different beverages, beer, wine, or cocktails out in the main plaza. And then we have a VIP ticket, which will include a luxurious buffet by Chef Tucker.
Awesome.
We're talking crab legs, oysters, prime ribs, salmon.
All my favorite. I'm in. VIP.
All of the great things. I had a little bit last year. Goat cheese mashed potatoes. They were so good. I could do a whole bowl of those. But you can find those tickets on our website, so blackfinnvalentine.com, and then also on their website.
Right, TJandRiggins.com.
Oh, yeah. So, Derek, she left out the most important part of the whole day.
All right.
Do you not know what that is?
You being the MC.
Exactly.
Oh.
I kind of figured
How
that.
did they forget?
I don't know. I'm so unappreciated. I'm used to being unappreciated in my own business,
Oh, you're
but
appreciated
not in
here.
your
That's
business.
for
I
sure.
mean,
100%.
I thought I had y'all
I bet you
fooled.
can get some
100%.
mashed potatoes out of them.
Yes, I've never even heard of
make
goat
those
cheese mashed potatoes. I bet that's good. Everything I've had here is delicious. You know, that night I came here and just made a fool of myself
Yes,
eating.
yeah,
Were you supposed to say you didn't make a fool of
You did.
yourself?
And it was good, and we appreciated it.
This is the first time I've been
I'm
here.
A
And
little lighter in the pocket. he ate more food than I expected.
yeah, I ordered
but
one
it was
thing,
good.
and then he said, "Well, get what you want. I'm paying tonight." And then I said, "Well, give me that menu again."
You're not gonna go back. I changed
Yeah.
take that salad off, and I want the
This,
steak,
this,
the
and
filet.
Yeah, all of it. And it is going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be there'll be you know, a lot of happy people. Let me put it that way. It's it's a benefit for a charity, but it's also a really, really good time. So you know, what is the goal this year? Do you even want to say that?
Yeah, I mean,
Get-
I would
get
love
right
to,
in it there.
Sorry about that. I would love to put the goal out there. We would like to give Tunnel to Towers $50,000 this year. I don't think there's a greater charity out there. I mean, you guys have met Kelly, and it's not just Kelly. I would never minimize her under any circumstances, but it's not just her. I think Tunnel to Towers is. Come on in here. Tunnel to Towers is by far, I think, the best charity out there that really help our first responders, our veterans, and our Gold Star families, and that's the goal.
And when you come to the event, if you got any questions about anything, and you see him, then ask him where she is, because Katie will be the one that has all of the answers to everything.
That is absolutely true. I think anytime that TJ's ever met me, I have Katie by my side, and there's a reason for that. You guys just heard it. So.
That's awesome.
All right. So once again, the date,
November 23rd.
November 23rd, starting at 5:30.
5:30.
5:30.
We'll open up the what we would consider that lush super VIP buffet at 5:30.
But the cornhole tournament's beforehand, so
Yep.
you need to practice up.
Yeah.
I don't like to
I will.
lose.
Okay. Well, I'm been hurting a little bit in my shoulder, so you may want to get somebody else.
I've heard this story before.
Yeah.
You know, little injury here.
I'm not bad at cornhole, but I know some people when they hear cornhole tournament, they're bringing in ringers, and they're going to be some really good
Like,
players.
do you know how to backspin your bag?
No.
Okay, then you're
no way.
You won't work.
Backspin, anything.
These
I'm
are
gonna be.
regulation boards, regulation bags, so it's serious.
Yeah, you got to be able to backspin it so it lands. You can't let it slide off.
Yeah, tournament is very serious this year, so I think you need to know what you're doing.
Yeah. The only thing I'm gonna be flipping back is beer.
But TJ, the more you drink, the better you get. The more you drink, the better you get at cornhole. I'm certain of it.
Okay, well then I'll be the very best. All right, so we're looking forward to that, and please come out, get your tickets, and we would love to see you there.